Hey guys, Luke from zcarcare here. We figured we'd start doing some tutorials, and I've had some questions about compounds and pads and everything else. We'll be doing overviews later on of undercoating and bed liners and just general detailing. We figured we'd get it out, it'd be a little easier. Like I said, a few questions. People asked for videos and stuff like that here recently. And we know we do G Technique ceramic coatings, wheels, paint, glass. Also interior protection from them also. Uh, and like I said, we'll start with like I said, a lot of questions about compounds and pads. And like I said, try to do one or two tutorials a week. We'll go over compounds and buffers, and later on, like I said, we'll go over the undercoating and general detailing, what we use, what we do. And like I said, this all depends on how far the customer is willing to go, how much you're willing to pay, paint condition, paint depth. It's variable factors in it. But today I just wanted to go over general compounds and pads of what we use here. To get the results, or like I said, it all varies on what you're willing to go for, and your time restraints, everything else, depending on the customers and such. So, general consensus. This is like I said, this is just my opinion of what we use, what I like to use. Like I said, everybody else has theirs. They like using this, they like using that. But this is what I've narrowed it down to, what works best for me. And like I said, we've tried a lot of things, and there's always new stuff coming out. So like I said, you got to be willing to try things to see what works best. Like I said, it all depends on what you want as a result, and your time restraints and everything else. So we'll break it down here in a second. I'll go over we'll start with the cutting process, what we know depending on two-stage. And my go-to is the microfiber cutting pads from Meguiar's. You have your just regular cutting disc and your extra cutting disc. If you can see the difference, this provides more straight downward force. There's less padding, less cushion, so this will give you a heavier cut. And like I said, depends on what you need to use, depending on paint condition, paint depth, etc. This is for really bad situations, in my opinion. It's happened a few times I've had to use it. But my main go-to for a two-stage or three-stage is the regular microfiber cutting from Meguiar's. Great pad, easy to clean, easy to take care of. They last. They're worth every penny, in my opinion. So that's your general. And normally I mix these with such and such compounds back here. Uh, my main cutting compounds is, like I said, I have several back here. We start out with Mazerna 400. It's the heavy cut. That's when you have, in my opinion, that's when it's really bad. Like I said, it all depends on what you have on your paint depth, paint condition. It's my go-to for heavy cutting. Great product. I've used Mazerna for years and years. More general consensus of what I use is Meguiar's 105 and 205. They are a great two-stage. Meguiar's 105 is a wonderful cutting compound, especially mixed with the microfiber. And like I said, this is just depending on what pad you use and everything else. I am a Rupes and Meguiar's pad person. It's my go-to pads. And like I said, I'll keep repeating myself, but it's always up to your paint condition and paint depth, etc., and what you're looking for as a result in your time consuming. But a great mixture, 105 and 205. Also, Meguiar's makes a 100, which is, I compare it to the 400 Mazerna for your really bad paint. But that's general paint. Like I said, it's different vehicles react differently depending on the hardness and thickness and everything else. I'll move on to what I also found out is my Geon compound and polish is another great combination of two-stage polishing. And like I said, there's 2 to 1 stage. We'll get and break it down later on. But like I said, their compound is a great for medium to light scratching. Sometimes with heavier scratches, I've seen to notice a little fall off in it. That's why usually if I have to go to the 105 or 400, sometimes I do. Like I said, this all depends on everything else. Their polish is great for a single stage, especially mixed with what I'll go into next is my favorite pad of all time, the Rupes Yellow. It is a great general all-around pad for final hits or a single stage and a good finish. Like I said, it just depends on the results you're looking for. And I have found out, honestly, in my opinion, I love mixing. If you're doing a good single stage, I have found out Rupes Yellow Pad with Geon Compound is an amazing single stage that will provide a beautiful finish and great results of cutting out light marring and scratching. Wonderful setup. I have found out it's great. Then if you need to, like I said, if you have to finish with polish, if you're doing a 2-stage, like I said, it depends on what you're cutting and using. My full go-to, what I have switched to now, is zcarcare, which is, if I do believe right, is pretty much an extension or an add-on to Mazerna. Someone correct me later on if it's not right. But I think Mazerna is working with them. That is my go-to cutting compound now. It's a general all-around, up to 1,500 grit scratches. Great on and off. No issues with taking it off after wiping, nothing like that. But that is great cutting compound. It just, like I said, I'll keep telling you, it all depends on your paint depth, your condition, what results you're looking for, your time consuming. But these are what I've narrowed everything down to, which is what my products I love to use. And I've got into Sonex here the last couple weeks ago, and I love the finish with Sonex. It is a general polish. As you see, it's perfect finish. It's a Pro line. It has cutting properties with it. It is a great single stage for light marring and light swirling and stuff. It just leaves a beautiful finish afterwards. Beautiful glow, depth, warmth to it. And we'll get in that later, and I'll show you some when we start doing it, and later on I'll cut the clips and everything else. But this is just as a general video. We'll start out with what we use here to do correcting and everything else. But like I said, I've narrowed it down to these. It just depends on all your conditions. Also, like I said, we have several. Like I said, the Rupes Yellow is also one of my favorite pads for great for light finishing. Like I said, it depends on what you get when you get a vehicle in to see what you need to do to it. But I still keep around the blue and green Rupes pads. You never know when you'll need them. Sometimes the blue will come in great handy for everything. If you have some really bad paint, water, spotting, or a generalized hard paint, they're great for that. We also do have the small for the hybrids that we use a lot for B-pillars, small front fascias, etc. But like I said, basic general consistency of 400 Mazerna, 105, 205, great products. Geon Compound and Polish is my other to go to. And like I said, I've narrowed it down pretty much. My favorite two right now are the zcarcare and the Sonex. Great products to me. Like I said, this is all my opinion. And pad, depending on what you're using. If you're using, you got flex, rotary, Torx, gear driven, air. I mean, it all depends on what you're looking for and the results that you can use with. But this is what I generally use on most vehicles that come in here for coatings or paint corrections. And like I said, we will be going over. So we'll try to do 1 or 2 a week. We'll go over, like I said, the general detailing. We'll go over the coatings. We'll go over the buffers. Then we'll go over, like, when we do undercoatings and bed liners and such too. We'll get later on to such and to put in links and everything else. But it's a general first video. You get the idea. We'll give you our opinion of what we use, what we do. But you can give us a shout at 304-343-4111. We do, like I said, full paint corrections. We use G-Tech ceramic coatings, everything from CV2 to crystal serum, light, and exo. And we'll get into that when we have a few more to do. I have several supposed to be scheduled to do full correction and crystal serum, light, and exos. Should be here shortly. I'll get some tutorial videos of those. We'll go over the general gist. And we'll get Mr. Wheeler. We'll show you how he does some tinning, get him going. We'll get you on with Tony doing the general detailing. But we'll put this on YouTube and hopefully subscribe to it. We'll start getting some channels going and getting them up. And we'll start doing these videos and help y'all out. And we'll show better results of what we do and everything else instead of just pictures. You can find me at Luke Scholl on Facebook. Or my Instagram's all over the place, just random stuff. It's at Crimson_S550_LSD. And our YouTube channel, which is where this is going, is LSD zcarcare. If you have any more information, give me a shout. Like I said, this is my general gist. If you have some questions and answers, opinions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you, guys.